Hi guys, today we are going to talk about arrays in Solidity. What is an array? An array is a linear data structure that stores elements of the same type. An array is a linear data structure that stores elements of the same type. Looking at the example here, arr is an array of type unsigned integer 256. Likewise, arr2 is also an array of unsigned integer 256. Array stores all the elements in contiguous memory locations. Array stores all the elements in contiguous memory locations. Contiguous implies one after the another. First, we are going to look into how to declare an array. How to declare an array? Data type, data type followed by square bracket, visibility, public, array name. Syntax for declaring an array. Data type, opening and closing square brackets, visibility, and the array name. This is a dynamic array because size is not specified. Likewise, if you specify the size during declaration, this becomes your fixed size array. Fixed size array. First, what is an array? An array is a linear data structure that stores elements of the same type in contiguous memory locations. How to declare an array? Data type followed by square brackets, followed by visibility, followed by the array name. There are two kinds of array. First one is dynamic, in which the size is not mentioned. Second one is static, in which the size is mentioned. There are several ways to initialize an array. arr is declared, it is not initialized. Whereas arr2 is declared as well as initialized. Both arr and arr2 are dynamic arrays. Going ahead, we look at my fixed size array. This is a fixed size array because while declaring the array, the size is already mentioned. So we have covered so far what is an array, two kinds of array, dynamic array and fixed size array. In case of dynamic array, size is not mentioned. In case of fixed size array, size is mentioned. Going ahead, let us look at the different array methods. Different array methods. Those are push, pop, delete, and length. There are four array methods: push, pop, delete, and length. Suppose this is an array which has 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6. And let us call this array as arr. When you call arr dot push 7, one element is appended at the end of the array. When you call arr dot pop, the last element is removed from the array. And on calling delete, delete takes in the array index. So this resets the value at that index to be 0 or the default value. Since this is an unsigned integer 256 array, hence the default value is 0. And in case of length, if you call array.length, it returns the number of elements in the array. In this case, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. There are 5 elements in the array. Array has 4 methods. First is push. On calling push, it adds an element at the end of the array or appends an element at the end of the array. Pop removes the last element. Delete resets the value at that given index to the default value. In case of unsigned integer 256, that is 0. Length returns the total number of elements in the array. What is the difference? What is the difference between pop and delete? Pop removes the last element and reduces the array length by 1. Pop removes the last element and reduces the array length by 1. Whereas delete only resets the value at the given index to the default value. In case of uint 256, it is 0. In case of bool, it is false. Simple. An array is a linear data structure that stores elements of the same type in contiguous memory location. How to declare an array? How to declare an array? Data type followed by visibility followed by array name. This becomes declaration. And apart from declaration, if you add an equal to sign, you are also initializing the array. There are 2 kinds of array: dynamic array and fixed size array. And for array methods, there are 4 methods: push, pop, delete, length. Now this contract array gives you an overview about all the different array methods which we have just learnt about. The first function get, it takes an index I and returns the element at that index. If this is your array, so array indices starts from 0, 0, 1, 2, 3, 4. When you call get with I equal to 0, it will return 1. This get arr function will return the entire array. Solidity can return the entire array, but this function should be avoided for arrays that can grow indefinitely in length. Push function. The push function appends an element at the end of the array. This will increase the array length by 1. The pop function, it removes last element from array. This will decrease the array length by 1. Then we have the length function. It returns the number of elements in the array. At last, we have the remove function. At last, we have the remove function. It resets the value at index to its default value, in this case 0, because this is arr is an array of type unsigned integer 256. So what we have learned today, we have defined what is an array. We have checked what are the kinds of array, dynamic and fixed size array. Going ahead, we talked about the array methods, push, pop, delete, and array length. Also, we have looked into the contract array and how these different functions use the different array methods to get what we have learned today. So I hope you have learned something valuable. Go to Remix IDE, open this contract, compile the contract, deploy the contract, get hands-on. If you get any query, add those query into the comment section. I will be more than happy to answer those. So stay connected for future videos. Take it one day at a time. We are mastering Solidity one day at a time, one lesson at a time, one topic at a time. Thank you.